All right, let's cut through all the noise. Forget the get-rich-quick stuff you see online. Today, we're going to break down a real, no-nonsense blueprint for building an actual AI business, one that can pull in $40,000 a year. Now, it's a bit of a contrarian strategy for sure, but trust me, it's built on a really powerful idea that's designed to last.
And we're going to kick things off by tackling the biggest myth out there. This quote, it just hits the nail on the head, right? The whole idea that you can build a lasting business just by selling clever sentences to an AI? Well, that's already on its way out.
So why exactly is it a lie? Well, it's pretty simple. As these AI models get smarter and smarter, the real value isn't in the prompt anymore. The value is shifting to the system you build around the AI. And this lays out the difference perfectly. I mean, look at this. On the left, you've got your $10 prompt pack. It sells a shortcut, and it gives you a pretty general answer. But on the right, you have a $500 system. It doesn't sell a shortcut, it sells an engine, something that delivers a very specific, tangible outcome. The takeaway here is huge. Stop selling shortcuts and start selling engines.
So that brings us to the solution, right? If just selling a list of prompts is a dead end, what are you supposed to do instead? Well, we need to start thinking differently. We need to think in terms of building a high-ticket AI asset, a repeatable, genuinely valuable workflow.
Let's get really clear on what that means. Most people use AI in what's called a zero-shot way. You ask one question, you get one answer. Simple. But a high-ticket asset, that's what we call a chain-of-thought workflow. It's a whole multi-step process. It uses logic, it uses data, and it's built to solve a real business problem from start to finish.
And check out this example. It makes it so clear. Imagine a legal assistant helper. It doesn't just spit out some generic contract. No. First, it connects to a database of local laws. Step 2, it analyzes everything for potential risks. And then, only after all that, does it draft the contract. You see the difference? You're not just selling words, you're selling the entire logical engine.
And here's another piece of the puzzle that totally justifies that premium price. You build in what's called an ethical moat. Businesses are frankly terrified of their private data being gobbled up to train some public AI model. So by building a security framework right into your asset, teaching clients how to use secure APIs or even local models, you're not just solving a problem, you're giving them peace of mind. And that kind of safety, that is absolutely invaluable.
Okay, so you've built this amazing asset. But now, how do you actually sell it if you don't have a giant ad budget? Well, this is where the sweat equity model for growth comes in.
See, as a solopreneur, your most valuable currency is not attention, it's trust. Attention is easy, right? You can just be loud, you can create a bunch of noise. But trust? Trust is hard to earn. You build it by being genuinely useful, by creating a clear signal that cuts right through all that other noise. And this quote is the absolute core philosophy behind it. You don't hide your expertise, you show it off. With every single piece of content you put out there, you give away a little piece of the solution for free. You're proving your value up front, which makes people trust that the whole automated system you're selling is absolutely worth the price.
Okay, so how do we put that philosophy into action? Let's get tactical. Let's break down the actual organic traffic engine that's going to help you find those first 80 high-ticket customers.
Okay, this is one of the most powerful content strategies you can possibly use. It's so simple. First, you record a video of yourself solving a real business problem, the old-fashioned manual way. Maybe it takes you an hour, maybe 2. Then, right after, you record another video solving the exact same problem, but this time using your AI asset. And it takes you, 2 minutes? That direct comparison, that proof of efficiency is more powerful than any sales pitch you could ever write. It's incredible.
Next up, the siphon strategy. You got to go where the conversations are already happening, like on LinkedIn and X. Find people in the comment sections asking for help, and instead of just writing great posts, you answer them with real, valuable, actionable plans. If you do this enough, people will get so much value from you for free that they'll be driven to check out your profile, which of course is set up to funnel them right to your product.
And you have to remember, this whole thing isn't about one giant risky launch. It's about making a series of smart, small bets. You start with something free to build an email list. Then you offer a beta version of your product just to that list, and you get amazing feedback. Use that feedback to make the product better, and you just build momentum step by step.
All right, let's bring it all home and look at the actual goal here. The path to $40,000 a year is, believe it or not, pretty simple when you break down the math behind this high-ticket strategy.
So we're going to look at 2 completely different ways to hit that same income target. First, the common path that you see all over the internet,
and then the hard work path that we've just been talking about.
Okay, path number 1, the common approach. You create a low-ticket product, maybe a prompt pack or an ebook, and you sell it for $10. Now, to make $40,000 at that price, you need to find and convince 4,000 individual people to buy it. That is a staggering number of customers to find.
And here's the real killer. To reach that many people, you're probably going to have to spend at least 20 grand on ads. That cuts your profit in half before you've even really started. This right here is the lie of the low-ticket model.
Okay, now for our path. You've built your amazing high-ticket AI asset, and you price it at $500.
So to make that same $40,000, how many customers do you need? Just 80, not 4,000, 80. I mean, that is a real, tangible, achievable number of people.
And what about your ad spend using the organic sweat equity model we just covered? 0. Zilch. The difference is it's staggering. It really is a game of focused, valuable effort versus a game of mass market luck.
So really, the whole mindset shift you need to make this work is summed up right here. You have to stop chasing viral and start obsessing over creating something genuinely, tangibly valuable for a very specific group of people.
And that leaves us with one last big question for you. Stop asking what little prompt you can sell. Instead, ask yourself this: what valuable engine could you build to solve a real, painful problem for your specific niche? The answer to that question? Well, that's your business.